Alright guys, I know there's a lot of misconception right now going on about the skill transfer, and it's something that I've been wanting to discuss for a long time, alright, ever since the event was available to all of us. Now, if you guys are living under the rock for whatever reason and you're not aware of this skill transfer, right now if you guys are not aware, there is 5 free skill transfers for free, going from legendary, okay, so you have 5, and then you have 5 transfer for the 5 stars as well. So I've already used one of mine. So here's the thing. Mileage units cannot be transferred. Alright, so Celia, Gunter, anything that's mileage specifically or exclusive, those are out of the equation. So we're going to talk about who you should be transferring to and why. Let's dive into it. Alright, so before we start off with today's video, I did purchase the Soul Gear for Alec recently. So if you guys are not aware, there's also a Soul Gear event going on right now. So make sure you guys take advantage of it. Alright, so 10% discount for all the Soul Stones and gold that's being used. Okay, so make sure you guys are aware of such events, because every time there's a Soul Gear event, that's when you go all in on all the Soul Stones, on all your gold, right? Doing it on normal basis, on a without event kind of situation, it costs a lot. Like, unless you're a whale, you shouldn't try to do it on a regular basis or on normal times. You should only take advantage of this thing right now. Alright, so the slime, and you can see the soul gears will be available until March 25th, and the legend transfer as well. So keep that in mind. There's still like approximately 1 more week for you to take advantage of this. Something that I've been wanting to do for a long time is organizing my soul gear inventory as well, right? Because this is something that I think you guys might be able to take advantage of this as well. Now, as you can see from my soul gear inventory, let me show you guys. I've been organizing it much better. So I have Alex soul gears level up. So Adin, like you can see, is now at level 9, level 8. And all the mileage characters that I don't have yet, for example, Ino, Ors. Make sure you guys organize it this way. If you want to declutter your soul gear inventory, it's gonna make things a lot easier for you in the future as well. So let's talk about the skill transfer, legendary, etc. Who should you be transferring away? Alright, we're gonna go into all the legendaries that we have right now. This gets complicated. It's a very complicated topic, and it's much more of a case-by-case scenario. For example, if you have this character, should you transfer to that character? If you have that character, should you transfer to this character? But I'm gonna tell you upfront for now, alright? You'll be surprised. I'm gonna say, if you have any of these characters, Rafitia. Okay, Natus, we're gonna talk about him later, but Rafitia is one, okay? Angelica, Beliaf, and Seto, and Lucius. Alright, these 5 characters, if you have any of these 5, you can consider transferring them away. Now, of course, I'm going to give you a case-by-case scenario where if you have certain characters to make them work, things are going to be much different. Now, it's not as easy as it seems. In case of Lucius, we're going to talk about Lucius specifically. If you have a Lucius plus 12, and if you have a Mamone plus 12, there's no point in keeping Lucius anymore. Like, the fact is just there's no point. Mamone can fulfill whatever role that Lucius does, and I would say in a much better way most of the time. And if you have Seer, even then, she most of the time will be better than Lucius, especially right now. The first 24 turns is all you need. You rarely see battles go extremely long, at least in Arena. So I would say Lucius, in terms of, the overall package value of him being a mercenary. Now, of course, make sure you guys activate this first before you transfer the skills away, because once you transfer the skills away, you will not be able to take advantage of this 30% HP boost. So that's a lot. That's a lot. So once you activate this, you can transfer their skills away. Alright, they will not disappear, which is very good. So here's the thing. Lucius, if you have Mamone, feel free to transfer him away. I would say most of the time you're better off using Mamone, and even now, alright, with Seer, with Lloyd, and those are just overall better. They are very similar because they are both defenders that tank a lane and they don't have taunt, right? So therefore, I would say they do compete with Seer as well, and in some cases, Seer might be better. Now, in case of Alec and Vals, again, if you have Alec and Vals, you're looking to build them, and if somewhat you have Angelica, feel free to transfer your Angelica skills to Alec and Vals. I do think that you're gonna get much better mileage in Alec or Vals right now. It's just, you know, Alec and Vals is just way better right now in the current meta. Direct damage is something that's invaluable, and you need to have at least one in your team. If you don't have, you're gonna struggle insanely. Alright, so Celia, we can't transfer her skills away or transfer to her, unfortunately. Now Rafitia, this is going to be debatable. A lot of players did ask me, should you transfer Rafitia's skills away? The truth of the matter is Rafitia is still, in my opinion, irreplaceable. Yes, in Arena she has fallen off. You rarely see players use her in Arena anymore. But the fact is, I still think she's very usable in places like Underground Arena, Guild Wars, etc. So if you go to the rankings, go and look at the supporter. It's now being dominated by Galenia, Venaka, and Seola. That's just how it is. Oh, apparently Seola has fallen off pretty hard. Apparently Aswood has climbed. But yeah, you can see Rafitia is at 5.9%. But she's going to be similar to Albion, in which you don't really see players use them much in regular arena. But when it comes to Guild Wars, oh my god, that's when they get super cancerous. So it's something that you have to keep in mind. If you are transferring her skills away, you have to have either Seola or Venaka. Do not transfer her skills away if you don't have either one of these two. Like, if you don't have one of these two, then you're better off just using her. Alright, but I would say her value has fallen off significantly. She's still useful in World Boss, she's still useful in some Evil Castle stages, she's useful in PvE, mostly PvE contents for now. But if you guys have been following the pattern, we haven't had any PvE contents for a while. Alright, the last one was Gate of Chaos Season 3. Even then, Rafitia wasn't really needed there. So, you know, even I myself have rarely used Rafitia at this point. So I'm going to say yes, it's safe to transfer her skills away, especially if you have Seola or Venaka. Now, Beliaf is in an even worse or tougher spot, right? And there's a lot of players that speculate that Beliaf is going to get rework. We are not certain on that thing yet, unfortunately, but you know, just feel free to transfer a skill away. Like, just because you shouldn't hold on to a skill or legendary because you hear some other players or your guildmates spreading rumor that they are going to get rework, right? The truth of the matter of fact is, you're going to have legend books every month. You should be buying that 2 legend books from your honor shop every month, right? So transfer her skills first. If she's reworked, skill her back up, right? You're not transferring her companions away. You're transferring her skills away. Alright, so I don't see the point of why you want to keep a character because of a rumor that they are going to be reworked in 2 or 3 months time, right? I mean, let's say that that's true, right? Then you can skill her out later in 2 or 3 months time because you're going to have that skill books stacked up throughout. So I don't see that as a big of a deal, in my opinion. So just look at it this way. You are borrowing their skills. Alright, if you have a Seto plus 15, for example. Seto plus 15, like look, 3.7%. Who's still using Seto? If you have a Seto plus 15, please, just transfer his skills away. Alright, just look at it as like you're borrowing his skills to another more useful mercenary for now, but you can build him back later. Rain is gonna beat Seto. Like, Rain is gonna be more useful than Seto. Yeah, the thing is, Seto is still strong in PvE, in Evil Castle, a lot of things, a lot of situations Seto is still useful. But whatever that Seto can do, most of the time, alright, I'm gonna say most of the time, there's another guy that can do it better, and his name is Jin. Alright, you want Seto to counter Livia, for example. Use Jin. Use Jin. You want Seto to counter Alec? Use Jin. Like, it just doesn't make sense for you to not use Jin at this point, right? So because Jin is so good, and is actually really strong, and he's actually almost used as much as Alec, which is crazy. Alright, look at that usage rate. Last week, he was used more than Alec, surprisingly. So it's something that you guys have to keep in mind, right? I would say, overall, whatever counter that you need, Jin is going to provide it to you. Of course, in certain situations where that DOT from Seto is going to be useful. But like I said, if you have a plus 15, I don't think you need Seto at plus 15. Like, I honestly don't think you need Seto at plus 15. Seto plus 13 is more than enough in most of the situations, in most of the scenario. So feel free to transfer 2 skills away if you happen to have Seto. Plus 15. I would say that's a safe one. Alright, so I hope that pretty much covers all the legendaries that you should be transferring your skills away to. Alright, let's talk about Natus. Why am I not recommending you transfer your Natus away? Right? So here's the thing. A lot of players that use Natus, they build Natus, is because they are still running Seol comp. if you transfer Natus away, you have to make sure you still have 4 magicians. Alright? So some people, they have maybe Natus, Velfen, Celia, and Livia. Right? So if you transfer your Natus away, make sure you have a spare magician to build. I would say he's somewhat in the middle. In a CLR comp, Natus is still good and pretty much influential. He can do quite a lot of things. The thing is, most players refuse to build Celia until today. I don't know why. Because I understand that you can't transfer her skills away, but she's pretty strong still. And maybe she has fallen off a little bit. I'm not sure if right now is the worth time to start investing in Celia. At this point, where the Venaka comp is starting to climb and still comp is starting to drop, you might not want to invest in a unit that's like might be dropping even more later on in usage rate. So I would say in terms of Natus, right, it's gonna depend. If you're still using CLR comp, you're gonna need him most likely because you're gonna need that 4 magicians unless you have other magicians to fill in that role. Alright, so that's something that you have to keep in mind as an individual CLR abuser. I can't tell you, oh, Natus is useless right now. Like, you have no choice. You need 4 magicians. If you don't have Frisha plus 15, you don't have Velter plus 15, your Velter is like plus 9. I don't think it's worth transferring the Natus plus 12 away. So you have to compare that and judge it for yourself. Now, when it comes to which legendaries you should be building right now, the ones that I think are worth it is Marmone, Vals, Alec, Asmod, and maybe Gran. Now, Gran is sort of a complicated one. She's still strong. The thing is, whatever that she can do, almost, Lloyd can do it in a way as well. So Gran is, I think she's in the complicated spot right now. If you already have a Gran plus 15, right? You do not need to build a Lloyd plus 15. But if you don't have a Gran, you might consider building a Lloyd because they fill a similar role. But then again, it's just like there's a lot of factors to consider, right? And not many players are saving for the collab units as well, as far as I know, based on, I've been talking to everyone in the chat, and a lot of players seem to not want to save. They always try to just build legendaries, and I get it, legendaries are the thing to go for if you are looking for PvP for sure. Unless you are a Pokemon collector, then go for collabs. But here's the thing. Actually, the collab units are not too bad themselves. They're actually really good. I need to talk about them in a separate video. But my gist of Gran vs Lloyd is very simple. If you have a Gran plus 15 right now, just keep her. Don't transfer her skills away. Alright? And you don't have to build a Lloyd. But if you're looking to transfer her skills away, then you might need to build a Lloyd because Lloyd can fill whatever that she can do. And in some situations, maybe even better. So you need to take that into consideration. You need a strong taunter. Seer does not cut it as a taunter. Seer is a good lane defender. She is not a strong taunter because her taunt can be removed, can be nullified, can be pillaged, etc. So do not rely on Seer as a taunt. You just need a strong taunt. Alright, as if you're trying to compete. You shouldn't build a Gran right now. I don't think it's worth it anymore because of Lloyd. But in terms of someone who already owns a Gran plus 12 or a Gran plus 15, that's something that you have to keep in mind. Because, they both have their own pros and cons, and we're going to talk that in a separate video, I guess, in the future. Alright, so let's talk about Angelica. Angelica is really difficult to use right now. She has her own niche. But if you have a plus 15, feel free to transfer her skills away to Alec or Vals. Granted that if you have one of those two, they are going to fill a much better role as a warrior. Now, sure, Angelica might get reworked later, but again, I've already said this. You can still build her later on. You're not throwing her away, you're not deleting her away from your inventory. You're just transferring her skills away temporarily. Later on, when you have enough legend books, you can always get her back up, etc. Alright, it's just about focusing on the relevant units right now. So overall, you can see it's just all about Alec and Vals, and I do think that these are the two that you want to focus on. In terms of Marmone and Velfen, yeah, I would say their value are still there. The reason why Velfen is dropping is not because he's useless. It's just Velfen is very expensive. It's a very expensive unit. A lot of people see me use Velfen and they probably want to follow my footsteps because of how strong he is. But the thing is, I have a Velfen plus 15 and he's max rank boosted and I have good runes on him. If your Velfen is plus 15 max rank boosted but you give him like rare plus runes, he's going to underperform. That's the thing that a lot of players seem to fail to understand. Velfen really needs plus 15, and I feel like rank boost on him is pretty much crucial as well. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, in this case something that nobody wants to talk about, which is Asmod. Now, I think Asmode is really strong in the current meta. Asmode counters or complements Vals, Asmode complements Alec, especially if you use either one of these two. Asmode completes them. Alright, Asmode can kill a lot of units at the beginning. He can make Graves for Vals to be more efficient because Vals need Graves to be good due to her this skill right here. Alright, number of Graves proportion will boost her attack. Asmode kills, for example, a Jin, where Alec can't, and that basically solves the problem in a way. So yeah, whatever that Asmode can do is what a lot of other warriors can't do, and a lot of players till today still don't really understood Asmode's skills. Maybe I'll do one last Asmode video on my channel and hopefully we'll just call that a day, because a lot of players have been coming to the stream and asking me to explain how Asmode skills work etc, but it's just that I've done plenty of videos to this point. I don't see the need for me to like just do a separate guide. But I do admit that I haven't done a rework guide, because right now the new Asmode you need plus 12. Plus 6, no. He's trash at plus 6, he's literally garbage. I would rather use Carlson than the Asmode plus 6. That's how garbage he is. Alright, don't even think about using Asmode plus 6. It's just either you plus 12 him or you don't use him at all. If you have like a plus 9 even, I would rather use a Laraposa in my team. Like, I'm not even trolling right now. I would rather use a Laraposa in my team. I feel like Laraposa is going to have a much bigger impact overall. But yeah, overall, here are my thoughts in terms of transferring skills away. I would say Seto Lucius, Beliaf, Angelica, Rafitia. In terms of someone that you want to transfer to, that's worth it right now, I would say Mamone, Velfen, Vals, Alec, Asmode. Alright, these 5. The others, they have their own criteria that you need to fit. I've already explained it in the video. Hopefully you guys watch the whole thing, don't skip it. Like, I'm taking my time, my day off to make this video for you guys, and I hope you guys will appreciate it. And hopefully this answers all the questions that we have regarding the skill transfer. Alright guys, so that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, give this video a like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.